today, Arram Eghoyan. Tell us what you do, Arram. You've got a fairly broad set of skills.
Yeah, my competitive background is mainly in strength sports. So I have 11 world titles in the sport of powerlifting. And several years ago I made the transition to do Strongman, which is exactly how you see it on the telly over Christmas, but it's now done in three main weight categories. So you have the heavyweights, who are the giants that you see on the telly. There's a middleweight class, which is 105 kilos and below. And my weight class that I compete in is essentially the lightweights, which is the under 90 kilo class. So that's what I've been doing for the last few years, competing in under 90 kilo strongman.
And so it's fair to say you know something about strength and exercise.
Yeah, it's all strength. All my training is based around strength in various forms, and I work as a strength and conditioning coach as well. So my education is based around strength training as well.
That's it, mate. Come on, all the way. All the way, come on. That's it, mate.
So tell us why you have come to me in the past, and see if you can explain what you get out of coming here.
I was originally recommended to come and see you by one of your pupils, I think, and I was being treated by him, but there was a few things that he couldn't quite put his finger on specifically, and the main reason really was to increase performance. So I was obviously doing very well with what I'd done. I'd already won kind of England's strongest man in my weight category and had done well internationally, but I still felt like my body wasn't performing at its kind of its maximum. And I think the first thing I came to see you about was I felt like my leg just wasn't working on one side, which is causing me to be imbalanced when I was squatting. And I've been to see GP, physio, osteopaths, a different physio, sports massage therapist, so many people to find out why this my left leg wasn't firing properly. It just wasn't strong. There was no strength there, and that's when I came to see you. And your diagnosis was there was an inguinal hernia, which no one had picked up on before, and I'd even had ultrasound scans to look for a hernia, and they hadn't come up on the scans. So after you'd diagnosed that, you'd made an adjustment in my back to fix it, and instantly went in the gym and my leg was working like the next day. So I was quite happy, very happy with that.
And it's fair to say you're very in touch with how your body's working, and strength is important to you, isn't it? So how do you get in touch with those bits that aren't working?
In terms of my...
Well, how do you know? I mean, we've done your shoulder thing too, and a few other things.
Yeah, I mean, from a visual kind of side of things, I'm quite in tune with, I assess my clients daily for kind of posture and balance, and to make sure everything's working evenly. And visually, I can see that, my left leg was slightly smaller than my right leg, but it's more just of a feeling that I can feel as I'm training. Like most people that will use the gym will feel, I've got a real pump in my arms, and you can feel that muscle's been working. It's much harder to do when you are doing multi-joint exercises that cover many muscles at the same time. But for me, I'm able to kind of feel that my hamstrings are working, my glutes are working, my back's working, but I can feel that this isn't working, and it's sending me off balance as I was training.
And when you feel that and you come here, what happens then?
So I'll come in and tell you, I kind of in layman's terms say this isn't working, or this is what's happening in the gym. So for an example, I was doing overhead pressing, and I'd get to kind of this type of range, and I'd have a massive sticking point for no apparent reason. And people get sticking points within major lifts, and you're able to kind of train through them by, for me it would be different starting points of the lift, or using bands, or using chains, or various different methods. And I've done all of that, but it wasn't changing. So I come in, I tell you, this is what's happening. You assess the strength of the muscles and kind of highlight the problem of where that problem is coming from.
Where the weakness is.
And where it's coming from. And then it's very simple, painless, or simple for you, a painless adjustment of the spine, and then we retest the muscle to see whether or not the strength has come back. And as long as I've been coming here, 100% of the time, the strength comes back, and I'm able to go and lift heavier weights instantly.
9, 5, 6, 7, top 8, 9, top 10, okay, you run.
Woo! Come on!
13,
Come on now! Shoot him on now!
14,
Come on!
15.
We had a fascinating thing with the Superman lifts and the Superman push-ups, didn't we?
Yeah, that was an interesting one. So we'd had some time at the end of a session, and you were asking me, is there anything you can't do in the gym? And you came up with this Superman press up where you're lying on the floor on your stomach with your hands out in front of you, and you asked me to lift myself off the floor, so a straight arm press up. And before even attempting it, I told you no, I can't do that. I just knew. I was like, no, I definitely can't do that. So you made me try on the floor. Come and give it a go, you said. And sure enough, I was there on the floor with my hands up and just straining as hard as I could. And
well, you actually went down to get into the position. You just collapsed on the floor.
I was nowhere near. It was embarrassing. It felt like you were asking me to do something that was physically impossible for me to do.
Even for a world's strongest man guy. Yeah?
Even for me, it was known for strength. That was beyond what I could do strength-wise. So you asked me to lie on the couch and had a fiddle around and found the weakness again. Again, simple adjustment, and you asked me to give it a go. Like, standing up, I felt no different. I was like, right, okay, well, my neck's been clicked, but okay. And instantly, I did this.
Well, you did
Superman
3 in a row.
Yeah, it was and when I went home, I did it again to check. Some of the stuff is unbelievable. Like it looks like magic. It looks, for me, it's when I tell other clients about you and people I've sent here and try and find a way of describing it, it's, I'll say, go and see the, Simon the Magician, or the Voodoo Man, or something that's, it's hard to kind of understand how instant the results are.
It is hard to explain, isn't it?
Until you kind of see it, like you can't do something and then there's an adjustment and then you can do something. It's very impressive, very, very impressive. Off the back of those Superman press-ups, I was messing around in the gym the following week, which I told you, and managed to do some gymnastics moves that I'd, again, couldn't even fathom being able to do previously. I think what's called a front lever or a back lever, where I'm hanging from a chin-up bar and pull myself so my body's parallel to the floor.
Right.
And as I was doing it, my guys I trained with were looking kind of, and their jaws just went like hit the floor. Like, how did you just do that? And it was from seeing you the previous week.
And what about your overall performance since that time? And once we got your shoulder right, because that was a big thing for us. Really.
It was a few sessions where this wasn't working, and then we come in the next session and we're able to kind of highlight weaknesses beneath that, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. And yeah, a lot of things were getting easier. Like the bench pressing, for example, was holding the bar in front of me. It just felt very easy to do afterwards, whereas before I was a bit shaky and unstable. So the shoulders certainly felt a lot more stable after that.
Even if people weren't trying to go into World's Strongest Men competitions, would you say there's a benefit from being strong?
Yeah, I mean, more so with the work that I do. I have strength conditioning clients that I have, and I have regular personal training clients as well, who are just Joe Average, who come in and my back hurts or my knee hurts and this is weak, and for me a lot of that is based around strength. And when you have people who during old age end up chair-bound or wheelchair bound and struggle to get off their chairs, and we can't get up the stairs, so we walk bungalow instead. And that's all strength.
It's all strength. It's all strength.
It's all strength, and that's not athletic performance. That's just making your life easier.
Yeah. So if you'd come in with these problems before, and I'd given you exercise to do, what would you have thought of that approach?
I mean, for me, that approach, if you told me to do exercises 10 times a day, I would do exercises 10 times a day. But having clients myself who I prescribe exercises to do, and I worked with yourself and in conjunction with other physios where after treatment clients are sent to me in order to give them basic
exercise training,
and exercises to do. For me, that's doable, but knowing other people, if you're given an exercises to do at home, you don't do them, or you do them for the first couple of days and then you don't do them, or you forget, or you're not sure that you're doing them properly, so you just don't do them, or you do them incorrectly. So there's more things that can go wrong with it. But from seeing you, from your approach, the issue is the muscles aren't firing for a reason.
Yeah.
So we fix the reason that the muscles aren't working, and then they work.
Yeah. So if I'd said go away and practice Superman push-ups, it wouldn't have helped you, would it?
No, I mean,
because you couldn't do them.
No, I mean, granted I'd never tried to do one of these before that day, but I could have been, that was 6 months ago, and I could still be doing them now and not be able to do them as well as after 10 seconds of one single adjustment.
Well, and how are you now? How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I've got looking forward to this year. Will be the first year there's a World's Strongest Man for my weight category. So I have to qualify officially first through the national competitions, which I fully intend on doing, and then I'm looking forward to going to the World's Strongest Man. So yeah, I feel like I'm better equipped to do well in my sport than I have been previously. So I'm quite happy, very happy.
Good. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's okay, that's good, that's over there. And then up to 2. Look at you solid here, looking pretty good. Thinking you're going to finish up with this, okay, do it there. Come on, you look good, looking solid.